Hello, everybody. This is Matt Heisey with the College Funding Connection. And today we're going to be looking at a cost review for Lehigh University. So if you're here at the video, you probably saw something on Google or social media or one of the other places where we have information for families. But we feel it's really important for families to understand the numbers for college before they make any kind of permanent commitments with a particular college or university. And if you're not familiar with our company, it's, again, the College Funding Connection. We're located in Brunswick, Ohio, which is in the Northeast Ohio area, but we actually work with clients all over the United States. And there's our website below if you'd like to check out some information there. It's collegefc.com. So before we get into specifics for Lehigh, I just wanted to do a really quick review. And if you've seen any of our previous videos, we get into some detail about how to calculate your family contribution towards college costs. But the important number, what we call the foundation for effective planning, is the EFC, the expected family contribution number. And quite simply, that's the portion of your income and assets that the colleges will expect you to contribute. So all the colleges use this number. It comes directly from the FAFSA applications, the Department of Education applications. So they all start with that and then make a determination of how much aid they'll actually offer your family. So it's determined by the two applications. I mentioned FAFSA already, and that's an acronym for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And then there's the CSS Profile program that many private colleges and universities choose to use as well, in addition to FAFSA. But really, in the end, it's about your financial need. And your financial need is another calculation, but it's a very simple one. It's the cost of attendance for the college. Let's just call it the retail price. Subtract out your EFC, which is up here by my cursor at the top, your family's contribution, and that equals your financial need. And that's the number that the colleges will start working with and trying to determine how much aid they feel your family or your student specifically is eligible for. So let's take a look at Lehigh in a little bit more detail. So here we're using a calculator that our company uses. It's available to financial aid professionals. But basically, we have almost every school in the country. If it's a larger college or university, we can capture the costs. So today we're going to be looking at Lehigh more specifically. So I pulled up just kind of a sample case for us to look at. We're going to call this the sample family. So here we have Joey Sample. And when we're talking about financial aid, we actually start with the academics because we know that a lot of financial aid is based on academic credentials when a student's approaching the college. And so they're going to look at grade point average test scores, maybe class rank, and some other factors. So we just put in some sample numbers here today. So first we'll look at the ACT score. So Joey took the ACT and the SAT, and it's important for kids to take both. And then he scored in 28. So he's a pretty good student. He has a 4.0 grade point average in high school. He's in the top 10% of his class, so that's what we indicate down here. Now, Joey is an only child, but if you have more than one child, then you do want to include that as you're running cost estimates, because having more than one child in college simultaneously and the age of the dependents that you have in your household can make a difference for financial aid a lot of times. Now, we then have the parents' finances, and I want you to look really closely at this because your kids are tied to you very closely during those undergraduate years for college, and they're tied to you financially. So any of the financial aid applications are going to ask about Joey's income and assets, but I will tell you, almost always they're going to ask about mom and dad's as well. So that's true for FAFSA and profiles, and probably true for most of the colleges' individual applications that they may use as well. So when we're looking at mom and dad, we know that they have an adjusted gross income. They're filing taxes jointly of about $100,000. And then, unfortunately, Joey's dad's or grandfather passed away here within the last couple of years. So mom and dad got an inheritance from the grandfather, about $200,000. So that's just sitting in a money market account, let's say a cash account. They have some equity in their house. They've paid down the mortgage by about $50,000, and then some other figures here that we keep track of as well as far as retirement account contributions. So right now we know that there are some assets there that the school may look at. We then are pulling up Joey's information here. So this is what we call the student financial section in questions. And we have income. Joey's not working right now, so zero income. Student assets about $20,000, so Joey actually got a small inheritance from Grandpa as well. And then Mom and Dad set up a small 529 savings plan. There's about $20,000 that's accumulated in that account. We then look at affordability, so trying to identify relevant college choices that are affordable. Of course, today we're going to be looking at Lehigh, but you can set some parameters here to help identify some other colleges as well. We then have search options, and we're just going to go directly and look at a specific college today. So here's the colleges that we picked. Lehigh is one, certainly, that we're going to review. And then just for comparison's sake, we pulled up Villanova and Fairleigh Dickinson. So when we save this, it's going to pull up a report of this family's profile for these particular universities or colleges. So Lehigh is right here in the middle in yellow. And we see that these are very good choices. It's likely or very likely that Joey would get an offer from one of these schools for enrollment. Looks like one of them uses FAFSA, but Lehigh and Villanova also use profiles, which is also called the institutional formula or method. Cost-wise, the schools are pretty similar. It ranges from $49,000 to $54,000. So pretty typical for, I would say, more competitive private universities. We know the family contribution based on the numbers right now is about $33,000 to $34,000. So based on their income and assets, this is the starting point for the colleges. The financial need then, if we remember that formula we just looked at, it's cost of attendance minus the family contribution is how much aid the family is eligible for. So it ranges from $16,000 to $20,000 in this case. Now this next column is so very important because it tells us on average, and these are just based on historical numbers that are posted for the colleges, that Fairleigh Dickinson has met 75%. Today we're looking at Lehigh especially, and they meet 98%, which is very good. And then Villanova will meet about 78%. So in the end, we have to look at, okay, what does that translate to in terms of numbers? And it looks like Lehigh University in this case would provide the most amount of financial aid, which is about $21,000. So 98% of what the family is actually eligible for. So if we take the aid minus the cost of attendance, what they probably will be billing Joey's parents for in this case is about $32,000 per year for this university. Now, I don't think that's very good. I think it's way too high. And I'm going to show you just quickly how we can reduce this net cost simply through some creative and really prudent financial planning for this particular family. So we're first going to go back to Mom and Dad's finances. And remember that Grandpa passed away a couple of years ago and left a bunch of money to Mom and Dad. Now the colleges will see this, and they're going to see it as basically low-hanging fruit. That's cash money. They are required to report it on the FAFSA. So what if we could change this 20 from 200,000, or this money from 200,000 down to 20,000? So we're just reducing the savings. And we're not spending that money. God forbid we go out and blow $180,000. We're really just repositioning it. It's getting into kind of a unique area of financial planning and consulting where you're repositioning assets to basically make yourself look poor on paper. You're not giving away your money. You're not gifting it. You're not spending it. You're basically sheltering it. And there are some very effective methods for doing that. So here we're lowering it to 20. We're then going to go and do the same thing. Whoops, forgot to save my work here. So we're going to save that for Mom and Dad. Then we're going to go into Joey's account and do the same thing because they assess student assets at 20% of the asset per year. So that $20,000 that Grandpa is leaving left to Joey, Grandpa didn't realize that if it's left in Joey's name, the colleges are going to come in and gobble up about 20% of it per year. Whether or not Joey wants to spend it for college, they're going to try to make him. So that will reduce his financial aid by about $4,000 per year, which is a lot of money over 4 years of college. So we're going to do the same thing. We're not blowing it. We're just basically shifting it, let's say burying it in the backyard figuratively to make it disappear for a little bit. We're going to save that. Then we're going to go back to the same colleges. And if you remember, we were right around $32,000, $33,000 as far as a net out-of-pocket cost for mom and dad. So now, after sheltering assets for the family, and here's for, Lehigh University in the middle, we reduced it from $32,000 all the way down to about $19,000. So just through effective college financial aid planning, effective restructuring of finances, we reduced this family's expense by $13,000 per year. Times 4 years, that's a savings of $52,000 that they get to keep in their pocket that otherwise they would have had to have donated to the college unnecessarily. Now, if you choose to donate it, that's great, but at least get a tax deduction for it. But don't just go ahead and pay more money to the college than you really have to. And there's no reason to do that if you can just through effective planning qualify for more financial aid. So there's some numbers for Lehigh and a couple other examples for you too. So I'm going to bounce back over to the other screen and show you how you can get some more information on the financial aid numbers for your family for Lehigh University. So something we offer is a free 1-hour consultation for anyone interested in learning more about what their financial aid picture might look like for a particular school or set of colleges. It's a free 1-hour no obligation consultation, so we just do this over the phone. Takes sometimes even less time, a half an hour to an hour. We'll go through one college or a few colleges with you, and if there's anything we feel we can do to help, we can let you know beyond that first meeting, but at least we can run some estimates and give you a sense of what your financial aid picture might look like. So if you are interested in doing that, we do have a link to a Contact Us page right below the screen here in the description of the video. So just click on that. You can come right over to that page. If you want to meet with us or talk with us on the phone, just put your contact information in there, and we'll be happy to talk with you and schedule a time to do that. If you are interested, then you can click on a button there where you can sign up for our newsletter and a free report. So if you have a sophomore, junior in high school, even a senior in high school, and you want a nice guide for them that's absolutely free, we do have the Student Roadmap to Success. By opting into the newsletter, you'll get a copy of this as well. And again, there's no charge for that. So you can sign up for a free meeting with us, get a copy of this for free, and a regular newsletter on a monthly basis, and a lot of good information to help your family. And happy to look at whatever college or university you'd like to take a peek at. So thanks for watching our video today, and from all of us at the College Funding Connection, we wish you the best of luck in your college plans. Thanks.